Hello and welcome back to Linux Academy. This is going to be a quick look at pandas for number crunching. Let's start off by installing our pandas using pip. Pandas is a data analytics library for Python. There are many tools available in pandas, but we'll be looking at pivot tables for this video. We also need a file filled with data for this course, so let's download that. We can use wget to get the files from our web server at labfiles.linuxacademy.com/python/pandas/temps.csv. Once downloaded, let's get into our Python shell. First thing we will do is import datetime as dt. By doing so, we have created an abbreviated alias for datetime. So every time we have to use the module, instead of typing the whole word datetime, we can just type dt. We can do the same thing for pandas, import that as pd. And import numpy as np. Both pandas and numpy are used for number crunching. First thing we need to do is set up a data frame. A data frame is like an Excel sheet. It contains data in rows and columns. It's called our data frame df. And using pd, which is pandas, dot read underscore csv, we are going to read in the file temps.csv. Pandas can also read through other file formats like Excel. Now that we have created our data frame, we can do a head on it, which gives us the top 5 rows of our data frame. If I scroll up, I can see the first column is date, but it's not formatted properly. It has been imported like a string, so we need to convert that into a datetime column. The columns in a data frame can be accessed just like lists, and we can apply a lambda function using datetime to convert the column into a datetime column. I can confirm that by running another head on the data frame. Data frame at this point contains various data points about the weather on a daily basis. But let's create a pivot table out of that to get monthly average temperatures. For that, we'll do pd.pivottable, put in the data frame, then give it an index. But we're also going to apply a lambda function on it to convert all the date columns from days to months. Next, we need to give it the column that's going to be used for the pivot table. We're going to use mean temperature f. And the aggregate function, we're just going to use np.average, which gives us a pivot table by month of the average temperatures. We can also just create a column called month by applying a lambda on our date column. Thus, the month column will be readily available to us whenever we want. Now I can create a pivot table where the index column is day of the month by using dt.day and put columns as the month. Give it my values as mean temperature f, which is again the name of the column, which results in the tabulation of months on the top and dates on the left side. Let's create another column called above 70 using the mean temperature column, applying a lambda. If the temperature is greater than 70, then set it to 1, else set it to 0. Now using that column, I can do another pivot table where the index is month and the values are coming from my above 70 column. I'm going to use the aggregate function as sum, which gives me the number of days per month where the temperature went above 70. For the last example, we're going to create another pivot table using the data frame, index being month, values being the max temperature f, but instead we're going to use the aggregate function as np.max, which gives us the max temperature per month. That's it for this brief look into the pandas pivot table functionality. Mark this video complete and go on to the next one.